So we're bringing back one of the most popular videos in our channel. We'll give you a little fresh update today and then we'll get going. So who's really in the operating room during shoulder surgery? So we're going to break it down, who's there, why they matter, and what it means for your recovery. So here's a question for you. Before we get into this video, when you picture your surgery, do you expect there's one person besides the surgeon in there? Do you expect there's two people? How many people do you think are actually in the room? Just drop that in the comments below. I'll let you know if you're right. All right, let's get into today's video. Who is actually in the OR and why are they there?
Hey gang, welcome back to another episode of Rotator Cuff Experts. We're going to do an episode on who's in the OR today. I'll show you a quick pic. I had my son, who's a very talented artist, draw the pic of the people in the OR. And so we're going to go through who's in the OR, why they're there, and what can you expect if you remember, and sometimes you won't remember because they'll give you good drugs before you go to the operating room. But if you remember, this is specifically who's in the OR, not necessarily the rest of the people, although there's always a nurse in pre-op that gets you ready for surgery. There's always a nurse in post-op that gets you awake from surgery. But when we talk about who's in the OR with me, right, who's in the OR, the first people you'll meet is after you meet the pre-operative nurse and she gets you all set, then you'll probably meet one or two people first. You'll meet the nurse anesthetist. That's really hard to say, by the way. I'm trying really hard to make it. I'm not going to say it again because it's too hard to say. I try not to mess it up. That's the person who actually is with you throughout the whole surgery most of the time. There's some exceptions, but typically in most modern operating rooms and the way they work, that person is going to be there when you go to sleep, or is going to watch you throughout your sleep, and then is going to be there when you wake up. And then the next person you're going to meet most likely is the circulator. The circulator is the nurse in the room, and we'll talk about that person in just a minute. And then you're going to see the anesthesiologist. So the anesthesiologist is going to be the one that's going to do the block, most likely, inject. So if you're doing your shoulder surgery, inject your shoulder, numb that arm up. So they're going to do the block, and they'll do that right before you go back to the operating room typically. They'll give you some medicine, some good drugs. You don't really care, don't really know or care where you are. And then they'll give you that block. And then you'll head to the operating room with the circulator and with the nurse anesthetist. Again, I'm going to say that as few times as I can. So you get into the operating room, so they get you all set up. They move you from the gurney that you go into the operating room, and they put you on the operating room table. They get you all set up, the EKG lead, the blood pressure, that kind of thing. Make sure your IV is running okay. And when it looks like they're ready to put you to sleep, typically what happens is they will call the anesthesiologist and say, okay, we're ready. Anesthesiologist will come in. They will put the person to sleep. Sometimes the anesthesiologist will actually do that specifically, but usually it's a joint between those two, both the anesthesia people. Then you go to sleep. And then we get you positioned on the operating room table the way we like to position you. Typically when I do shoulder rotator cuff repairs, the patient will be on their side, so we call it a lateral. So you'll be on your side, and there's something that goes on your arm that helps hold the arm up where it's supposed to be while we do the surgery. But anyway, that's for another episode. So you go to sleep, put you in a position, and then we have other people. We have my assistant. My assistant who is a PA. It could be a nurse practitioner, but mine's a PA. It could be he or she, but now it's a he. He helps me pass the sutures, helps me do the work in the operating room. Sometimes I need more than two hands, so he'll be my third hand or my fourth hand. So he's there. There's the circulator. So that circulator, if we need something and we're all sterile, then she can go get something that we need. She also does what's called the timeout. She makes sure before we do the surgery, before we do any cutting, we confirm who the patient is, what side that we're doing, and what the surgery is. And also make sure we got the antibiotics we need before the surgery, make sure they don't have any allergies that we need to remind ourselves of. That's pretty much it. Confirm with the anesthesiologist or the nurse anesthetist. It's getting harder to say. So anyway, so that's what the circulator will do. Circulator actually brings the patient into the room with the nurse anesthetist, and then she takes the patient from the room to recovery room with the nurse anesthetist. I'm saying that a lot of times. Crap. Anyway, so That's the circulator's job in a nutshell. It's much more than that, but you get the idea. Then we have the scrub. The scrub is the person also sterile, like my assistant and I. We are the three people who are sterile. The scrub, the surgical assist, as well as the surgeon, right? And so we're all scrubbed, we're all sterile. And the scrub typically will give us the instruments we need. We'll say, I need a grasper, and they'll give us grasper. I need cannula, to give us cannula, that kind of stuff. So they help us make sure we have everything in the room because they set up the room with all the instruments that we need. And then they help my assistant and I actually, they give us the stuff so we can do the surgery. And there's one other person typically in the room, not always, and that's the rep. The rep is from the company that we're using their product. Let's say, so when I'm doing a rotator cuff repair, we have an anchor. That anchor is made by somebody, and that somebody typically will have a rep in the room that is a representative for that anchor company. So if we have any questions about the anchor, sometimes we have questions about size, shape, number of sutures, and oftentimes I will know it. Almost always I'll do it. But sometimes the scrub needs some help in the steps of what we're going to do, because what's the ideal scenario is I don't actually have to ask for much of anything. The scrub knows what the next step is, and so they have everything ready for the next step, so much more efficient. Now, if we have an inexperienced scrub, which often we do, then that rep being there saying, okay, this is the next step, this is the next step, this is the next step, as well as my assistant will do that too, that helps us be much more efficient. So then we do the surgery, and then typically what happens, I finish the surgery, I step out, my assistant puts the bandages on, the patient wakes up, and then the nurse anesthetist with the circulator brings that patient to the recovery room to be recovered by the PACU. So I hope this is interesting. Again, look at the cool video. Look at the cool picture anyway. It's a pretty awesome picture, don't you think? Give me a thumbs up if you like the picture. I think it's pretty cool. Good to see you today. Remember, like, please subscribe, and we'll keep on bringing the great content. And make sure you make a comment if you have any questions. Anything else you would like me to talk about, please let me know, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, it's Dr. Dan. If you're following these videos and emails, you already know this. Recovering from shoulder surgery is harder than it needs to be. What most people don't know is that this program, the shoulder recovery method, wasn't just built in the lab. It came from years of watching my own patients struggle with the same things over and over. Confusion about what's normal, fear that they messed something up, guilt that they're not recovering fast enough. But I built this program because I wanted to fix that. Not with a giant rehab plan or complicated routines, but with the stuff that actually helps. Knowing what your pain means, right? Understanding when to move and when to rest. Having simple tools and checklists for every phase so you're not guessing. You're not overwhelmed. You're just healing, one smart step at a time. And even if you decide this program is not for you, that's okay. I hope this video gives you one thing, the reassurance that you're not failing. You've just been missing a guide. So talk to you soon.